Welcome back, it's George, and today we're going to compare the iPhone 14 against the Samsung Galaxy S24 to see which one is the better phone. I've noticed that both phones have about the same price right now, so I decided to put them to the test. If you're on the fence about which one to purchase, I hope this video will help you make a better decision. Okay, so on one hand, I have my pearl white iPhone 14 with 128 gigabytes of storage, and on the other hand, I have my S24 in natural gray with also 128 gigs of storage. Both devices are at 100% battery health and in perfect condition, so they will perform at their best. First, let's talk about the design. Both phones boast stunning designs featuring aluminum sides and glass backs. They share a clean and elegant look with minimal but well-executed lines and shapes. The main difference between them is that the S24 has a matte glass back, where the iPhone has a glossy glass back. This matte finish helps hide fingerprints and gives a more sophisticated appearance. Personally, I prefer this finish because it doesn't require constant cleaning to look good and also feels better in the hand. However, I understand how some people might prefer the glossy finish. It ultimately comes down to personal preference. Another notable difference is the charging port. Samsung uses a high-speed USB-C port, which not only charges the phone, but also allows you to connect it to a display, effectively turning the phone into a computer. You can even connect a mouse and keyboard for a complete desktop experience. I find this feature to be truly amazing, as it lets you enjoy a desktop-like experience without needing to buy a separate computer. This is definitely one of the standout features in all Samsung phones. On the other hand, the iPhone uses a slower Lightning port, which is limited to charging the phone and transferring files to the computer at a very slow rate. Both devices are updated to the latest version of their operating systems. The iPhone is running iOS 17.5, which provides a flawless experience with smooth animations and absolutely no bugs or any app crashes. iOS has evolved significantly in recent years, introducing widgets, improved notifications, and more customization options for the lock screen. Recently, Apple even updated the App Store to support emulators, so you can play games like Mario 64 officially without needing to jailbreak your device. And let me tell you, this is awesome. I have been spending some hours for the past couple weeks and having a lot of fun. It is a shame that Apple didn't want to include this feature sooner. On the other hand, the S24 is running Android 14 with One UI 6, and I have to say, the performance is equally impressive. The days of Android offering a less polished experience than iOS are long gone. The phone feels extremely smooth and stable, with no app crashes or annoying hiccups, which back in the day were unfortunately very common. The combination of Android and One UI is currently one of the best and most complete packages you can get on any phone, offering a lot of customization and access to the latest AI features. Obviously, I can't definitively tell you which one is better, as they each have different strengths, but I believe both will provide an excellent experience. I think this, once again, comes down to personal preference. If you enjoy tinkering with your phone and customizing it to your liking, the S24 is undoubtedly the better choice. But on the other hand, if you're already invested in the Apple ecosystem, iOS might be more appealing, as it seamlessly integrates with other Apple products and features. When it comes to performance, I have a clear preference. The S24 has given me a superior experience in terms of opening apps and playing games compared to the iPhone. It feels faster in every task, kind of reinforcing its flagship status. And the smoother experience gets enhanced even further thanks to its 120Hz display as opposed to the 60Hz on the iPhone. I'll discuss the screen in more detail later, but yes, I believe there is a noticeable difference between the two in how they feel and how fast they are. And don't get me wrong, the iPhone has a very capable and well-optimized processor. This performance gap isn't really that huge. However, to be fair, Samsung offers an overall better experience in this area, except for a few specific apps that are more optimized for iOS. I usually avoid getting too technical since these videos are about sharing my personal experience with the phones. But if we run a performance test, the S24's processor gives a noticeably better score than the iPhone 14's, which explains its faster speed. By the way, both of these phones have very good prices on Amazon right now. I have included a discount link for both phones down below in the description, and I recommend that at the end of the video, you go take a look. As I mentioned earlier, another area where they differ is the display. The iPhone features a 6.1-inch OLED panel that's very well calibrated, offering good brightness and decent screen-to-body ratio. I've always appreciated how iPhone screens always give very natural colors, mimicking almost what you can see in real life. For most people, this display is more than adequate. However, the S24 takes everything the iPhone does and takes it one step further. It offers better screen-to-body ratio, more than double the brightness in outdoor situations, and as I previously mentioned, a 120Hz refresh rate compared to the iPhone 60Hz. The only area where I didn't notice any difference is in the quality of the panel itself. Both phones offer excellent sharpness, contrast, and viewing angles. If I had to sum it down to one thing though, it would be the 120Hz. That is the main reason why the S24 has a better display, as it makes the phone feel incredibly smooth and fast when navigating the system. Once you've experienced this level of fluidity, it's really hard to go back to a lower refresh rate. It's one of those features that techies and geeks like me will really appreciate. Now, let's talk about the battery life. As I mentioned earlier, I like to make these videos based on my personal experience. I have used both phones as my daily drivers for a couple weeks to see if there were any noticeable differences in the battery performance. And, well, both the iPhone and the S24 have provided excellent battery life, easily lasting through a full day, even with heavy use. However, they don't offer the same peace of mind as the Pro Max and Ultra models, which typically last 2 to 3 hours longer on average. But of course, those models are also significantly larger and more expensive. Interestingly, I didn't notice a huge difference in fast charging either. I expected Samsung to charge faster than the iPhone, but the difference between them was less than 20 minutes. This is because their charging speeds aren't really that different. The iPhone supports up to 20 watts of fast charging, while the S24 supports up to 25. One feature that I particularly appreciate on the iPhone is the MagSafe system. Apple has integrated a series of magnets on the back of their phone, making it incredibly easy to attach a variety of accessories. Personally, I have 2 vertical MagSafe chargers, one on my desk and another on my nightstand. It is so convenient to just snap the phone into place without having to worry about the coils not lining up perfectly, which used to take too much time before, especially with those big cameras on the back. Also, with iOS 17, if you place your phone in a vertical position, you get access to a screensaver that displays the time, the weather, and your notifications without needing to turn on the phone. But anyways, finally, it is time to dive deep into the cameras on these 2 phones. I have used both for photo and video extensively in my daily life, and I genuinely like both. Overall, results are quite comparable in terms of noise levels, sharpness, and focus. The main difference comes down to how each phone processes images. Samsung tends to produce more vibrant colors and stronger contrast, while the iPhone offers a more natural look with flatter images that lower the highlights and raises the shadows for a flatter looking image. For instance, in a photo of my hedge, Samsung maintains a natural contrast between the sky and the shaded area, whereas the iPhone equalizes the image with an HDR look. In terms of sharpness, the results are also very similar. Sometimes the iPhone is a bit sharper, and sometimes the S24 is. There is no clear winner here, which is kind of surprising given that Samsung has a 50 megapixel sensor compared to the iPhone's 12 megapixels. However, when it comes to indoor photos, there is a key difference. The iPhone maintains the natural noise levels in the image processing, whereas Samsung processes more aggressively, removing all the noise. This makes textures appear slightly more detailed on the iPhone. And the same goes for the ultra-wide camera, which is 12 megapixels on both phones. Everything I mentioned about the main camera applies to this one as well. I have also tested video extensively because this is a crucial aspect for me, since I use my phone to record some of the videos you see in this channel. When recording in 4K, the only noticeable difference is that Samsung's colors are a bit more intense. This isn't a big deal, as you can easily adjust the colors using an editor if you prefer a different look. Where I do see a significant difference is in the selfies. This was probably the most surprising difference. The iPhone struggles to handle the contrast between my face and the sky behind me, while the S24 keeps everything perfectly exposed. Even when I tested it with my dog, the Samsung phone delivered much better results. Additionally, and I think this is the main difference between the two, the iPhone has 2 rear cameras, while the S24 has 3. This extra camera on the S24 is a 3x telephoto lens that may not be the best camera in the world, but it delivers consistently good results in a wide variety of situations, while also adding a lot of versatility to the phone. Just the other day, for example, I spotted a little mouse in my front yard and I wanted to film it. Thanks to this 3x telephoto zoom, I was able to capture a close video of the mouse without getting too close so he didn't run away. All things considered, both phones are excellent and well worth the investment. However, if you are trying to choose between the two, I believe the S24 is a better option. It offers superior performance, a better display, and in my opinion, a significantly better camera setup thanks to that 3x telephoto lens. I would only recommend the iPhone, as I mentioned earlier, if you plan to take full advantage of the Apple ecosystem with other Apple devices. Finally, and please pay close attention, right now when I'm making this video, both phones have very good prices on Amazon, and as I said earlier, you have a discount link for both down below in the description. Now that the video is about to end, I recommend you go take a look.